Hare Krishna, Namaste.
Chapter 13 is entitled as Kshetrajna Yoga, also as Prakriti Purusha Vibhaga Yoga, also as Prakriti Purusha Viveka Yoga. Sloka 30. Prakṛtyaiva cha karmāṇi kriyamāṇāni sarvaśaḥ paśyati tathātmānam akartāraṁ paśyati. One who knows the science of Atma is the savior of the Atma. One who doesn't is the destroyer of the Atma. Samam paśyanhi sarvatra samavasthitam ishvaram nahi tathātmānam tato yati param gatim. This is what we learned in the previous sloka. In sloka 30, Krishna says all the actions are performed by the prakriti in the form of the body. So the body is the doer and Atma is not, is the message in this sloka. Let's learn more. Karmāṇi sarvaśaḥ, activities in all respects, like extending, folding, standing, sitting, or various different actions. Karmāṇi sarvaśaḥ, prakṛtyaiva. Prakriti is the doer. Here, not the Moola Prakriti, because the Atma does not directly have connection to the Moola Prakriti, but the body, which is a byproduct of the Moola Prakriti. Moola Prakriti is also known as Pradhana. We have gone through different names when we saw more on this topic earlier. Kriyamāṇāni are being done. So all types of activities that we see are done by the Prakriti. Atmānam, himself, the individual self, that is Atma, tata akartāraṁ, as not the doer of those actions. Paśyati, who sees, sa paśyati, he alone sees the truth. Translation: one who can see that all activities are performed by the body, which is created of material nature, and sees that the self does nothing, actually sees. It's quite interesting to see that Krishna here says that the body is the doer, Atma is not. One who understands this is a true seer. Whereas in Brahma Sutra, Vedavyasa says karta shastrarthavatvat, that Atma is the doer, not the body. One understands this is a true seer. It seemed to be two different, two contradicting statements. One by Krishna, where he says body is the doer, not Atma, whereas Vedavyasa says it is Atma who is the doer, not the body. So which one is right here? There is no any right or wrong here. Both are perfectly correct, because there won't be any contradiction in the Guru Parampara. What Guru says is what disciple says. So let's understand this sloka with an example. Say, when we see someone is walking across the street, how we see that makes the difference whether we are seeing it right or wrong. When I just see that a person is crossing the street, then I did not really see it right with proper understanding. Therefore, I did not see the truth. Second way of seeing is when I see a person crossing the street, I see with an understanding that an Atma who is situated in that particular body due to some karma, who is being influenced by the three gunas, desired to walk across the street through the association with the help of the body. Hence, it is not the Atma who is walking across the street, it is the body who does it. When I see in this way, I see it right with proper understanding. Therefore, it is said one sees the truth. Hence, he is a true seer. So, when one knows that all the activities, actions like stretching, folding, standing, sitting are all being done only by the body, and that the self is not the doer of these acts, such a person alone knows the self as it actually is. This is the message of this sloka. But when one thinks he is the doer, then he is being fully influenced by the three modes. And this subject that we are seeing is not a new subject. It's a topic which we have discussed earlier, but given here in a different format. In 3rd chapter, 27th sloka, Krishna said, prakṛtyaiva karmāṇi sarvaśaḥ ahankara vimūಢātma akartāraṁ iti mañyate. The soul, spirit soul, thinks himself to be the doer, whereas in actuality it is not the Atma does the action. It is out of the three modes of material nature the action is being performed. So the body, which is nothing but the Prakriti, does the action, not the Atma. Let's go with another example. Say a person sees a mango fruit or any fruit and desires to eat the fruit. Then he purchases the fruit and eats the fruit. The trigger of this activity happened just due to the connection that Atma had with the Prakriti in the form of the body. This activity has been done for several times. When I say this activity, similar activity has been done several times by the Atma, and hence it has been done several times, or even if it has been done one time, there is an impression that gets created, which is called vasana. Now, because of this vasana which is present, pre-exists within oneself, now when that person sees the fruit, he immediately get reminded due to his vasana, and hence he desires to eat. That desire of wanting to eat pushes him to purchase the fruit, and then after that he eats it. Like this, each and every activity is being performed and the vasana get registered. And due to the vasana, the desire get triggered by the three modes and the action is being executed by the body. But here is the truth. The reality is that Atma doesn't need to eat a mango fruit, a banana, or any of those things. it is the body which requires things like this, and hence does such activities due to hunger, thirst, sleep, etc. One who has knowledge, the understanding that these things like hunger, thirst, sleep, etc. are triggered by the three modes present in the prakriti in the form of body, and due to the vasanas, one becomes a slave of this body and start working for it. In actuality, these are not the job of Atma. It is simply due to my karma that I have to get engaged in such activities. When one understands like this, then he is a true seer. I am not the doer. All the activities that's seen in the body is due to the prakriti, which happens due to my karma vasana, and I am not the doer, which is the right way of seeing. One who doesn't see this way thinks that he is in actuality the one who saw the fruit, bought the fruit, ate the fruit. He thinks he who is the Atma did all these activities of seeing, buying, eating is said to be in ajnana. That means not in a right jnana, knowledge. That is because he doesn't have a complete proper knowledge about the Atma. Atma doesn't see, buy, eat. All these are happened and done by the body alone. But this person wrongly identifies himself with the body and thinks he is the one who ate, meaning the Atma itself ate the fruit. That is completely a wrong understanding called ajnana. This is a very important topic to be constantly remembered every second, and that the Atma's conjunction with the Prakriti, its involvement in mundane activities, experiencing pleasure and pain, or just because of its karma vasana. We have been seeing that there are so many different types of activities that one performs, and name any of these activities. In reality, Atma has no connection to any of these things, but does because of its beginningless connection with the Prakriti, because of the vasanas, because of the karma. But Atma by nature doesn't have anything to do with any of this activity. But unfortunately, because of the strong connection with the Prakriti, it is not able to overcome this and becomes helpless at many times and get engaged in such activities. We are pretty much in a very pathetic situation in this world. We have to develop a very strong desire within ourselves to get out of this pathetic situation. We have to save ourselves, our soul. When that strong desire develops within us, then we will start inquiring. Then we will start wanting to know the truth about Atma and what are the dharmas that are prescribed in the Shastra. So, hence, that leads one to approach a bona fide guide, spiritual master. And by submissiveness to the spiritual master, by inquiring submissively, and by rendering service unto him, one learns about Atma, Paramatma and the Prakriti. When one understands this, one starts practicing yoga that Krishna has recommended in the Bhagavad Gita in a sequence. So coming back to our initial question, is there a contradiction between Krishna and Vedavyasa? Absolutely not. Krishna is saying that the actions are performed by the body, whereas Vedavyasa is saying all the actions are performed by the Atma. So, Atma in its natural position has nothing to do with any of the activity. It appears to be doing because of its connection with the Prakriti. Therefore, all the activities are not done by the Atma, it is done by the Prakriti. That's what one understands from Krishna's statement. But in the conditioned state, the Atma is the doer. As we have already learned earlier, if Atma is not the doer, all the Dharma Shastra would go waste, because the Dharma Shastras are given to that which is sentient, that which has consciousness, that which has knowledge. The body does not have knowledge, consciousness, it is a non-sentient being. So the Shastras are not given to the body, but to the Atma, who is actually the doer in its conditioned state, in its connection with the body. But in the natural pure state of the Atma, Suddhatma, it is akartāraṁ. He is not the doer. And this is what Krishna trying to say here, to contemplate anusandhanam, akartritva anusandhanam, meaning contemplate that I am not the doer. Why one has to contemplate like this? When we think I am the doer, what happens is that then we are entitled for the fruits of our activities, our action. When we enjoy the fruits of our action, then we become responsible for the reactions of that action. That is nothing but karma. When we get karma, then obviously outcome of that is going to be taking a birth again. So when we think I am the doer, we are wanting to enjoy the fruits of our action. When we enjoy the fruits of our action, then we get karma. When we get karma, we get birth. In other hand, if I contemplate and meditate that I am not the doer, this is not my karma, this is not my duty, and I do not want the result of this action that is going to be performed. When one thinks like this, he will become free because he is not affected by the result of the action. Hence, the result is not his. Since the result is not his, he is not going to be enjoying the fruits of his activities, which means he is going to be free of karma. When he is not impacted by the karma, he is not going to take birth again. And this is the reason why Krishna says that you contemplate that you are not the doer. By doing so, you will be free of accumulating karma. Therefore, you can stop the repeated birth and death. When a person stops the repeated birth and death, that means he doesn't have karma. If he doesn't have karma, there is no reason for him to take birth into this prakriti, into this world. That means he attains liberation. Liberation means free of influence of the three modes, the prakriti and the Atma being in its natural position. In the next sloka, Krishna will explain that the body has the capacity to change itself, whereas the Atma doesn't. Prakṛtyaiva ca karmāṇi kriyamāṇāni sarvaśaḥ paśyati tathātmānam akartāraṁ paśyati.
Namaste. Hare Krishna.